Okay, good morning and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube. Iyun Mitzion. Today we have finished the fourth parak of Maaser Sheni. One more parak left. I want to analyze the penultimate Mishnah in parak Dalid, Mishnah Yud Aleph. Archaeologists sometimes dig up these old pottery uh, containers that have letters on them. It doesn't says kuf, which could mean korban, could mean someone's name. Yossi says it means someone's name. The Rabbanan say it means korban, or mem stands for Maaser Sheni, Dalet for Demai, Tet for Tevel, Tav for Truma. Right? If they're accurate, the stuff inside of them is still kodesh. You have to treat it whatever the dinei kedusha apply to those. Yossi says no. You can make a plea. You can make an assumption that it belongs to people, and not only that, Yossi says, even if you actually find it says the word truma, it says the whole word truma. That's not just an initial. It says the word truma, and it has payros. It has grain or fruits inside of it. We don't assume it's truma. We assume it was from last year. They wrote truma, and they didn't erase it, and whatever was there last year was truma. They took it out and they put new fruits in this year, and this year's fruits are chulin, because people we can make an assumption, a tliya. Now, yesterday we talked about hanhaga. Hanhaga is status quo. We act based on minna. We act based on the status quo. Today we're talking about something called a tliya. A tliya means really like an assumption. I used the word assumption yesterday, but the more accurate term for hanhaga is status quo. We go with the status quo. Tliya is more an assumption. Now, I've discussed many times that in order for something to be suffix, it has to be between 50 to 65%. 50% is suffix, up to 65%. 65%, if you go to school, is failing. Below 65. 65, we could already have a sort of an assumption of what way. So the machlokas over here is by tliya. Yesterday it was about hanhaga. We said by hanhaga, by things which are kodesh, at least partially considered mam gavo, belong to Hashem. Hekdesh completely belongs to Hashem. Truma partially belongs to Hashem. Maaser Sheni Tevel, these things partially belong to Hashem. So according to Reb Meir, who holds Maaser Sheni Mam Gavo, who partially belongs to Hashem, the Shalom belongs to Hashem. So even though Mosi Mechaber al Avarai, normally you have to have at least 80% proof in order to consider something to be yours. Hashem doesn't need so much proof. Mama Gavo doesn't need so much proof. We said yesterday on Haga suffices. What about a Tliya? What about where you don't have a status quo? You have letters written. You could be told one way or the other. You can make an assumption one way or the other. So Ryosi says it's not enough proof. Well, if I can make an assumption that if a person's name, it stands for a person's name, or even it says Truma, but it could have been last year's fruits. So I have 65 to 70% chance that it belongs to somebody else. So I don't consider it to be hekdesh or truma or mammon gavoa. However, there are rabbanan who we paskin like say no, it's enough. 65 or 70% is enough. A tliya, the assumption we can make an assumption in both ways over here. An assumption that it belongs to korban, right? It's probably if it says a kuf, it's hard. I would say it's probably we have no idea what it stands for in that case, right? Or a tough, there's not so many names with the name. It's not so clear what it is. A letter is not such a good proof. I would say 65% or 70% proof. It's not hekdesh, but there's a tliya. There's a tliya. It's a I'm sorry, the opposite. It is 65% proof. Like even the second case there, it says truma on it. Or why would you write letters on it? It's probably truma. So it's not 75% proof on Haga. It's 65 or 70% proof. There are abundant to hold that's enough to consider it hekdesh, and that's how we pass. We don't pass like Rabbi Yossi, who says no, you don't rely on a tliya. You need 75% according to Rabbi Yossi. We say even 65 or 70%. As long as you have 65% proof, that's enough to consider something hekdesh, because Yad hekdesh al Yonah belongs to Hashem. He doesn't need complete proof to motzi mechaber al raya. Exclusion of today's shiur. Check out yesterday's shiur if you don't understand what I was saying today. Hope you enjoyed both shiurim. See you in the next one.